Our sportsNOLA.com trivia question surrounds a milestone. 700 catches for Marcus Colston, 45th player in league history to break that milestone. 2 native New Orleanians rank ahead of Colston on the all-time receptions list. And who are they? We know you probably got one. Did you get them both? There it is. Reggie Wayne and Marshall Faulk. We got them. Way to go, guys. Nicely done. Brian and I were all over it, so I'll shake your hands. We got that. It's all good. So well done. Good answer. Good question. Great players. And it's time now for our hot seat segment of the evening, where we put Brian Alley Walsh on the hot seat to talk about a hot topic of the day. And it doesn't get any hotter than the LSU debacle of this past weekend surrounding Les Miles. Should Joe Alleva's job be in jeopardy based upon what we witnessed? Brian, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Trahan, as always. And I wish that I so seldom defeat Ricky in any kind of trivia or bet. I wish I'd have put a friendly little handshake with Ricky on that, the receptions question. All right, enough said on that. Joe Alleva, should he be fired? No, shouldn't be fired. Can't be fired. Could be fired. His contract runs through 2020. Got an extension. There are so many layers to this. It's like peeling back an onion, all right? Les Miles behaved himself in a very, very gentlemanly way and handled it just as professionally as you could, the whole situation. Joe Alleva, on the other hand, did not. This would never have occurred under Skip Bertman's regime, under his tenure. What LSU showed to me in this whole last 2-3 week debacle is that it has no good leadership in the athletic department. For Joe Alleva to have allowed this to continue on as long as it did without nipping it, okay, without nipping it, is beyond me. Here he is, and you know what? He could have easily handled this in a much more professional manner, didn't. He let his coach swim out there, okay, by himself. He could have handled it a heck of a lot better. Now, that has nothing to do with Les being gone or not gone, okay? But the man was owed a heck of a lot more respect and better handling them the way it was handled by Joe Alleva. And again, I repeat this. It would have never been handled this way if you'd had good leadership. Is Joe Alleva job in jeopardy? Yes, it is. Maybe not this year, but next year, because what he's done and what the LSU higher-ups have done is this. They have placed Les Miles in an untenable situation. He has to win next year. He has to beat Alabama next year, or they'll find themselves back in the same situation. And then you know what? If they get rid of Miles, they better get rid of Joe Alleva, because he has not handled this well.
Well, I mean, anytime you have a coach that did what Les Miles did, like you say, Brian, he deserved to be, recommended better than what he was. But, it's football, you know what I mean? I think if he'd have lost the game, things might have been different, you know what I mean? So you really can't tell. But, I mean, what Alleva did, he left him out there, like you said.
Yeah.
And everybody, cut his head off and throw him into the wood. But, he survived that. And next year, if LSU win the national championship, he'll get a new deal and be the coach for a while. Georgia got rid of their coach after 15 years.
I know.
So a lot of times people want ready for the coaches to move on when they don't win. Everybody want to beat Alabama. If you don't beat Alabama, people want you out of here.
Well, the thing that kind of grates me, and I'm not a fan necessarily, okay? Les Miles has grown in my esteem, what I've seen the last few weeks, and it has nothing to do with what happened on the football field. I personally think that they should have made a change, but what happened, in my opinion, is this: is a guy like Jimbo Fisher wasn't going to take the job. So yeah, could he have been fired? Yes, he could have been fired. He probably was that close to being fired, in my opinion. But Jimbo said, "I ain't coming." And they needed to make a splash, as we said on this television show a week ago, and they couldn't make a splash. So what did they do? They went back to Les with their tail between their legs, both the president and the AD, and they said, "Les, we think you're doing a great job. Stay with us, my friend. We're right behind you." See, that to me, I don't like the way that this was handled at all.
What did you incur as a result of this? Ridicule nationally by every media outlet there is. ridicule locally and statewide from every media outlet there was, and ridicule from the fans who embarrassed the administration at LSU with their outpouring of love for Les Miles, one of whom, of course, had a sign that said "Fire Joe Alleva," and he got disciplined for that happening. The bottom line is you cost yourself esteem among media, among fans. You lost 2 primary recruits in the process, and you now have a coach that has to feel like he can't even turn around, because as soon as he does, the firing squad is at his back, if in fact Joe Alleva is still the athletic director. But was this really all Alleva, or was King Alexander responsible as well? If we believe what we're told, the decision was made to retain Miles in the middle of the 3rd quarter of a game where you're facing a team that's not ranked, a team you hadn't lost to, and you were performing in boring fashion offensively as usual. And you made the decision in the middle of the 3rd quarter of that game? Really? Listen, many layers to this. They couldn't get Fisher. That was a big part of it, obviously. And beyond that, the pressure from statewide governors, the governor currently, the governor to be, about money spent, the money that would be raised, how it would look on a statewide basis when cuts had been made, and so on and so forth. So many layers to this. The bottom line is, ultimately, in any business, the buck stops here. No matter who's responsible, it always filters up to the top. And if you happen to be the boss, it's on you. So it makes Joe Alleva look very, very bad. And yes, his job should be in jeopardy over what transpired here. I think, as Brian said, because of the contract, maybe it won't be. But let me say this. If you had $15 million to buy out Les Miles, you can buy out Joe Alleva if you really want to. When we return in just a moment, we'll talk college football, high school to come as well, as Sports NOLA TV continues.